You want to know the mistake you're making here, buddy? You think you're gonna find the truth. You think you'll uncover something, and everything will just fall into place. Some grand revelation that'll make sense of all these unspeakable horrors. That'll explain what could drive men to such creative extremes of inhumanity. I hate to be the one to break the bad news, but even when you think you understand what's happening here, you're only gonna be halfway down the rabbit hole. It's always been the case that whoever's holding the money gets to say what the truth is. But then what happens when all the money's gone? When everything is based on debt, on credit? Come on, buddy. You can guess this one. It's faith. Money is a matter of faith. All we were ever trying to do is sell you the dream. But you can't make a deal if you got nothing to bargain with. You gotta be inside the dream to buy it. You gotta have faith. And that's what I'm here for. To make you believe.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me and welcome to another episode of History Behind the Horror. Today, we're going to be looking at Dr. Richard Rick Trager, one of my favorite enemies in the whole Outlast series besides Chris Walker, because he's a little bit different on his play style and how you have to avoid him, and he's a little bit different mentally than Chris Walker. So, without further ado, we're not going to get into a long intro. Let's get started. Background. This document shows that Trager was a former executive of the Murkoff Corporation Research Development at Mount Massive Asylum before becoming an experimenting surgeon. He wears glasses, a machine monocle, a bloodstained apron, and a torn up surgeon's mask. He also appears to have an accessory on his left arm made from a patient's drip. The drip can be used by him as a blood transport to survive. Trager was also a close friend of Jeremy Blair, as Whalen finds a note which provides that they were friends and used to play golf. Characteristics. Dr. Trager, much like the rest of the asylum's inhabitants, is a sadistic and mass-murdering psychopath, but his psyche and mental ability appears to operate in a highly functional way that proves he still has grasp on reality, even if only slight. Because of this, he is more than capable of thinking, planning, and other things such as tricking Miles into entering the dumbwaiter and gaining access to him. It is possible that this is how Trager lures his victims.
Who's down there? You're not one of them, are you? Quick, get in the dumbwaiter if you want to live.
You made the right choice here, buddy.
Additionally, he is capable of both intelligent and coherent speech, much like Eddie Blueskin, speaking to Miles in a friendly tone and addressing him almost mockingly as Buddy. He either enjoys pretending to be a surgeon or has been driven to believe that he actually is one, and has a habit of collecting body parts from his patients. Example, a tongue because he's tired of licking his own stamps, and Miles's ring and index finger because he desires to sell them. Story. Outlast. After Miles hears a voice and climbs into the dumbwaiter to escape his pursuers, he meets Trager. Despite initially sounding like an ally, Trager beats Miles until he is unable to walk, picks him up, and straps him into a wheelchair. After rolling him down a hallway, Trager taunts Miles by offering him a chance to escape the asylum by walking out the exit doors.
You know, I love the mountain air up here at night. You want to head out and take a stroll? Go ahead, I'll wait here. Go on, run free. I'm in no hurry. No? All right. Nose to the grindstone, I like that. Okay then, right this way.
Miles is unable to do so due to the wheelchair restraints, so Trager pretends that Miles wants to stay, taking him up an elevator and down a few more hallways. Along the way, Miles sees the bodies of other victims that had also been captured by Trager.
Ripping that tongue to any use anyway. Truth be told, I was just tired of licking my own stairs.
They finally arrive at a makeshift operating room, a bathroom covered in gore with a table that had various sharp tools on it. Trager takes the camcorder and sets it down on the sink before washing his hands. He then has a short talk with Miles about Father Martin and his religious viewpoints before taking a large pair of bone shears and cutting off 2 of Miles' fingers. Trager then leaves the room for a short while, giving Miles the chance to escape.
You know, I'm a bit worried how much time you've been spending with Father Martin. I hope you haven't been letting him confuse you with all his holier-than-thou Bible thumping. No offense to the man, but I sometimes worry he might just be a little bit crazy. It's understandable when people get scared. They're as like to turn to God as anything else. I mean, God died with the gold standard. We're on to a more concrete faith now. You have to rob Paul to pay Peter. There's no other way. Murder in it is the simplest form, but what happens when all money's gone? Well, money becomes a matter of faith. And that's what I'm here for. To make you believe. You paying attention? Don't pass that on me. There's so much for you to absorb.
Miles breaks free out of his wheelchair restraints and navigates through other operating rooms where a patient talks to him and reveals that he is also an executive like Trager. The patient then starts to shout Trager's name and he finally appears to investigate. Trager then kills the patient before going back to the operating room to check on Miles, which reveals that he has escaped his confines.
Like Trager, he got the treatment. He's still alive. Filled with Wernicke's Lakers. He worked so well. They couldn't control it. And you can't control it. Nobody. He'll find you. He'll kill you. He's coming now. Trager!
After Miles retrieves the key and uses it to start the manually operated elevator, Trager breaks into it from the floor below in an attempt to get Miles, but Miles struggles and pushes him out. Trager's upper torso is still inside the elevator as it begins to move, and he is crushed to death in the process. Miles then escapes through a hatch in the elevator ceiling.
I'm not giving up on you!
Outlast, whistleblower. While Wayland passes through the mail ward, Trager can be seen lying dead on the ground after Murkoff's tactical division had pulled his body out of the elevator shaft, who they mistake for one of the asylum's victims after seeing his distorted, skinless body and presuming that he was molested. Personality. Trager is a very upbeat and friendly man, always cracking jokes and never losing his composure. However, this masks his true persona, a sadistic, murderous psychopath who takes great delight in torturing virtually anyone he comes across. His insane mutterings and notes reveal that he is obsessed with making money and believing that the only thing that really matters is making a profit. And he also has a demented fascination with biology.
Money is a matter of faith. All we were ever trying to do is sell you the dream. But you can't make a deal if you've got nothing to bargain with.
He soothes both of these obsessions with his torturous occupation, learning about biology by cutting up his victims and gaining money by selling the severed parts. While he seems to maintain his polite and up-class personality even when torturing Miles, he mentally breaks upon finding out his escape, screaming profanity-filled rants and yelling that he cannot stand quitters. Physical description. Despite only being in his 40s, Trager appears as a very withered and bony old man on the brink of anorexia, having only a few strands of gray hair draping from his scalp. All he dons is a blood-stained apron around the front part of his legs, which is just a dark green patient sheet. He also has a patient drip wrapped/taped around his left arm and stabbing into his veins, a tattered surgeon's mask, and a strange steampunk monocle. Bonus. It's implied that after mutilating his fingers, Trager would have gone for Miles' tongue and genitals had he not escaped. Biographical information. Gender, male. Height, 6'1.5". Hair color, gray, partially bald. Eye color, brown. Equipment, butcher knife/shears. Occupation, former Markov executive. Affiliation, Murkoff Corporation, formerly. Status, deceased. Death, crushed by an elevator while chasing Miles upshore. And that ends our story of Outlast, Richard Rick Trager. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so you'll be the first to know when a new episode is available. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. We're going to be doing some weekly votes coming up real soon, so you guys can vote on what you want to see next. Have a good one, and like always, I will see you in the next episode of